The sim racing addiction is real. I upgraded again, this time with the Asestek Invicta S-Series Pedals. Let's take a look. What's going on, everybody? This is Mike. Welcome back to the channel. This is Redline Sim Racing. And today I'm super excited because I grabbed these Asestek Invicta S-Series throttle and brake pedal. I was previously running the TK edition that came with my TK edition bundle from Micro Center, which I've done a video on. If you want to check that out, the link will be in the description below. However, I was browsing microcenter.com this past weekend, and these were on sale for $549 USD. On the Asestek website, they're generally around $800, so I don't know what's going on with Micro Center and Asestek. I don't know how they're selling things so cheap. They haven't been restocking, so maybe they are not going to be offering Asestek products anymore. But at that price, I had to bite. So one quick thing to call out: the S-Series is different from the standard Asestek series in that the standard pedals are mounted on a single plate. The one thing that I think Asestek got a lot of feedback on was people would prefer to have pedals on their own separate mounting plate so you can space them out a little bit more, space them out how you see fit. I do like my pedals a little closer, so I don't know how much space I'll be putting between them. But the other option it gives you is if you do have a preference for a different throttle than, say, a brake, you could certainly swap those out. That's not super common. However, it would be an option for you. So let's put the brake off to the side for a minute. Just run through the throttle. So the key difference here with the throttle versus the Invicta throttle versus the TK edition one that I have is, first, there's a little LED strip on the pedal. That's pretty cool. I guess I probably won't use it, if I'm being honest, unless there's some sort of functionality that I don't know other than just being a light. People like LEDs, so that might be part of it. I don't think I'll ever really be looking at my feet for that to matter. But if you have your sim rig on and set up and it's kind of sitting in a corner looking cool, having those lights on might be a good option. The second aspect that they added here, and this is part of an element that's an upgradable piece within the Asestek ecosystem, is if I wanted, I could have bought this adjustable spring unit to add a little more realistic tension to the pedal. However, given the price of these and my ability to resell my other pedals, it just made a lot of sense for me to not upgrade the current pedals that I have. So overall, this is going to give a really nice, more realistic feel to the pedal. There is a little bit of noise you can hear. I don't know if that's picking up on the microphone. Of just the springs kind of compressing and decompressing. It's not going to be something that I hear while I'm racing. But real quick, just as far as the adjustments are concerned, you can spin these adjustments so you can loosen the tension a little bit here. This, if I go too loose, then the spring is loose, so you want to pull it in so it's at least still touching. But if you want to get a little bit more compression, you can certainly tighten this thing down, and then that's going to give you a little bit stiffer pedal as far as the throttle is concerned. So I have mine adjusted just a little bit to get some tension on there, because I like just a little bit heavier throttle pedal. So that's the throttle pedal. Also, probably worth mentioning, these plates can be adjusted. There's two just Allen head screws in here that you can pop out and kind of adjust the pedal to your liking in the placement. So moving on to the hero of the setup, we're looking at the brake pedal now, which actually has a hydraulic pedal system. that has a real, probably car pressure sensor in here. It's really well built. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't raced with it yet. We'll do that after this. But I'm super excited to get my feet on it. But looking at this, essentially what we have is a hydraulic system, which it's kind of like a master/slave cylinder combined. So I'm going to pull this out, and you can kind of see two things. There's essentially the rubber damper, or elastometer, I guess you'd maybe call it, in this pedal. But if I pull this out, you can see I have the yellow one in, or the white one in here. It does come with a black and a green. I believe the yellow, or the why do I keep saying yellow? I believe the white is the medium stiffness. The black is a little bit softer, which is probably going to be a little bit closer to your road car feeling. And then there's a green, which is harder, which is the hardest, which is going to be really stiff. Just to show you how easy it is to swap those out, you just slide it off and then put this guy back on once you put the new one in. I'm going to leave this out just to demo something real quick as far as how the system works here. So if I push on this now, you're going to see this plunge in and this pull out. So if I just push, you can see how that works. And in here, there's actual oil as if it's a real car, and that allows you to get that a little bit more realistic brake feel. I think one of the things as far as sim racing is concerned, and I know a lot of people prefer to have something a little closer to more of a road car feeling in their pedal. However, that's not really how race car brake pedals feel. So in your car, you're going to have maybe a combination of rubber brake lines going into your brake caliper, and then probably some solid lines that go back. But through that system and the slave cylinder and everything else, when you push the brake pedal, there's a little bit of play in between the brake pad actually touching the rotor, which there's not a lot, but there's a little bit of movement there. And then as you push the pedal, there's quite a few elements within of kind of a road car or just a daily driver that allows that brake system to kind of flex. So that's why when you push your brake pedal, you can kind of push it harder and harder and harder, and it'll kind of keep moving. Within a race car, the braking system is set up in such a way that there really isn't anywhere for the fluid in the brake lines to go. So when you hit the brake, it's essentially hard, and what's controlling your brake is how much pressure you're actually putting on the pedal, but the pedal's really not moving at all. And so that's what this simulates. It's a different feel for a lot of people, and I think it takes a little bit of getting used to, but I'll be honest, I prefer it and generally feel like I'm faster because of it. The one thing that I do is, if you look right now, this pedal just isn't, it's just not moving. And I could certainly get it to press if I was using my leg. However, what I do like to do is, if you remember when I push this and this side goes in, the way that it's set up from the factory is it's set up to not have any movement. What I prefer to do is just back this off just a little bit, so I can get a little bit of a simulated feeling of that foot feel between when you start to press the brake and the pad really kind of tensioning on the rotor. And so you can give it just a little bit of play here in order to emulate that little bit of feeling. And I prefer that rather than just having my foot be on it. Now, that's not how all race cars feel, but certainly that's an option that you have to adjust here. And so that's something that I'm going to set up. So really impressed with how these pedals are built, how they look. Everything underneath is closed up. You can see some of the wires to essentially kind of connect the pedals, so you can just run the single USB. But overall, I'm really, really impressed, as I have been with a lot of the Asestek stuff. So let's do this. I'm going to go hook these up. Also going to just do a quick unboxing so you can see what's in the box, how these things came out, and then we'll get to racing. So that's why we're here. Hey, I'm sorry for the messy editing here, but I figured since I just took these TK pedals off that it would be helpful for me to do a quick comparison between the Invicta and also explain the differences that you'll find if you go from the TK, or these are identical to the Primas, or jump up to the Forte, or take the dive into the Invictas. So here's the TK pedals off of my current rig. Like I said, these are the same as the La Primas. And so when I was explaining these S pedals being separate, you can see that this is on a single plate. So comparing the throttles real quick, big difference here is really just this additional tension spring. So this one doesn't have it, and it just has, I mean, it's still tension, there's still a spring on it up front here, but it doesn't give you as much of a realistic throttle feel. So if you were to jump up from the La Prima or the TK edition to the Forte pedals, the only difference between these and the Forte pedals is going to be this piece right here. And I believe you can buy this piece additionally for, I think, $149, and just mount it right to these pedals if these were the pedals you had. The biggest difference then when going from the Forte to the Invicta is this does have, like we just reviewed, a true hydraulic brake system, where this doesn't. So I'm just going to show you how you replace the elastomers on each of these so you can get a better idea of how this works. So you essentially just pull this piece out, which will allow this to pivot up. You can then unscrew this like so. Whoop. And then pop these guys off as well. And then this will give you access to the elastomer. And it's not quite spinning because there's so many adjustments on here. So let me just pop these off as well. But as I'm doing this, I really did like this brake pedal and this brake feel. It did give you a bit of that two-stage feel that you're really looking to get with kind of that hydraulic system. So if we pull this out, oops, there we go. You have this little bit of a spring here. I guess I didn't have to spin those all the way off, but I did. You have this spring here that gives you a little bit of that first stage feel if you keep it loose. And then within here, here's this other elastomer that's in here that goes onto this. So as you can see, you have this little spring that allows for kind of that first stage feel. When you press it, as you can see, it kind of goes down like that. And so when it's hooked here, you can get that first stage and second stage, which works really great. And then when you hit that elastomer, which you can swap out for a different elastomer if you want a softer feel versus a harder feel like I showed you on this one, you can certainly do that. So for me, I really liked these pedals. It was just for the price and my ability to just kind of jump on the separate pedals, which I really liked. I wanted to jump into it right away. So there you go, just a quick review and a quick comparison between the Invicta, the TK or La Primas, and then just explaining kind of the differences of the Forte. So let's jump into the unboxing. Then after that, we'll get into the test drive. Thanks. Hey, also, I accidentally deleted the audio here for this part of the unboxing, so I'm recording this separate, but we can wing it. So packaging on these, right in line with what you'd expect from the Asestek stuff. It all kind of looks the same here, right? A really nice action shot on, or a product shot on the front, and then swinging to the back. Again, just talking about you know, some of the benefits of going with the Asestek pedals. Again, this was the S-Series, so we're looking at the separate pedals here. Like most Asestek products, just a slide-out box, so nothing super special there. Just trying to scrape that back sticker up so we can take a look. and jump inside and see what we've got. So overall, packaging's really nice. One thing I have noticed about some of the Asestek stuff is things just are a little loose in the box. I don't think there's anything clearly in there that would have been damaged, but something to note. So get your congrats, cardboard insert along with some of the warranty stuff and a link to the directions, silica packet, which is in pretty much everything, and then your product warranty. Opening up the box here to see kind of what's within the accessories. We're going to find a couple extension cables here that allow us to connect the pedals together, along with some USB cables and some other random things. So here you can see the elastomers within the package, and there's the black and the green being the harder of the three, and then your standard stuff, extra spring, zip tie cable, so on and so forth. So pretty standard stuff as far as what you'd expect. Comes with the screws and some other things that you'd need to mount to your racing rig. Package is double boxed. Also get a nice thing of stickers here. I haven't put these on anything, but it is a nice little touch that Asestek does give you some stickers to play with as well. Clearly, you've already seen the pedals in kind of that intro there, but just looking at what's in here, again, held in there really, really nice and tight. And kind of the first impressions when you get these things out of the box is this is a really high-end product. Overall, I couldn't have been happier or more pleased once you kind of get down to the actual pedal. So incredible to see. I couldn't have been happier with how everything here was packaged and turned out. And then kind of moving on, we'll grab the brake pedal, and again, kind of the hero of the show here with the hydraulics, along with the real kind of car pressure sensor on that hydraulic system there. Bottom's covered as always, and then just taking a look at the build quality once again. It's really nice to be able to pull something out of the box and have it impress right away. All right, y'all, so I'm going to get this set up. I'm not going to screen cap this, but I am going to just kind of run through what's kind of going on here with the setup with Race Hub, Asestek software. So saying pedals firmware's too old, so we need to update. So we'll take a look at what happens there. Should just take a couple minutes to run through the update process. We're going to go ahead and update both of them. Now it just looks like it's updated. So if we go to the pedals, I can now do my calibration. So we're going to first calibrate the throttle. So that's now my complete range there. And so you can see, hopefully you can see that kind of going up. And then as we talk about the brake, we'll calibrate that. Like I said, this is where I've got it adjusted to, so essentially that press right there, I know you can't see it well, but is kind of that second stage, and then I can just adjust it to how hard I want to press it to get full brake. So I think that feels really good. So we're going to hit complete, and I might want a little more, so I'm going to, there we go. Yeah, these pedals feel really good. So have this set up. I'm just going to double check my wheel settings, and we'll jump into Assetto Corsa and get an idea of how these things drive. All right, so here we are, ready to race. Let's take these pedals for a spin. I can already tell you I love how that throttle feels. I'll shift the camera so you can see down here. I'll just 1 foot drive for now. And we'll go from there. Like I said, I did the video on this wheel as well, so feel free to check that out. Here's our kind of first braking. Oh yeah, that feels so much better. Other than I was looking down and not paying attention. That feels so much better. I didn't hit hard, so my driving shouldn't be an issue there. I'm just trying to get a little bit more of that brake feel, so we're going to go on hard here. Yeah, these feel really, really good. The biggest thing that I can say as far as the difference between these and the TK edition or the La Primas is the throttle certainly does feel a little more realistic. I do want to probably put a little more, probably want to make it a little heavier, or even maybe find a little bit heavier spring. But this brake feels absolutely incredible. I have the medium elastomer in it, and I may want to actually throw in the green, which is the harder. That's what I was running in the TK pedals. I just wanted to see how the hydraulics felt with the medium, and I really like it, but I do think I'd rather have just that little bit harder feel. But overall, these pedals feel great, and I'm probably going to be driving on this the rest of the afternoon. Before we do that, let me switch here, and I'm going to try to get a good view of just the pedals in action from down there. So let's see if we can capture that for you. All right, so that should be a fairly decent view here. So as you can see how that's moving with the throttle and that spring. Like I said, I'm going to adjust that spring to be a little heavier, but this is what I was talking about with just that little movement, that little play you can have. You can just see just enough there where you kind of get that really nice feel of essentially, you know, that caliper play. And then as you can see, as I'm putting more force on it, it doesn't move a lot. And if I put the green one in, it would move even less. If I put the black one in, you'd get a little bit more of that road car feel. But let's go ahead and just do some driving here. Oh, it feels absolutely wonderful under the foot. And I just lost it, but these are really great. I couldn't be happier with the upgrade. It's the subtleties around it are just very nuanced and something that quite honestly feels super impressive. So I would not have any trouble recommending these to anybody. So let's jump into a quick summary. Yeah, so there it is. Like I said at the end of the driving video, couldn't be more happy with the purchase. Like I said, they're $549 at Micro Center. So, you know, for that price, I think they're absolutely incredible. I think the hero of the package is certainly the brake. The overall feel, I got to be honest with you, I don't think I've felt a pedal that feels more close to realistic than this one, as far as a comparison to some different, you know, really high performance sports cars, or even race cars. Now, I haven't actually jumped in an F1 car or anything like that, but I've certainly driven some high end exotics, and the pedal feels very similar, and absolutely love it. The throttle feels great. I don't think there's really much more I could ask for. I do wish I had a little bit more adjustment so I could make it feel a little heavier, so I'm going to play around with that a little bit. I may throw a different spring in there just to see how that feels, but I would say that, you know, I race for a few minutes, right? And so I may not want to make it much heavier when you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4 hour sessions, right? You get too heavy there and your foot's going to start to get a little sore. So, like I said, for the $549 that I paid from Micro Center, I couldn't be happier with the purchase. If you got a Micro Center in your area and you've been looking for an upgrade, I would highly recommend going to the Asestek Invicta, especially if you're in the Asestek ecosystem, because it is nice to just wire those things directly to the wheelbase. Even if you're not, I couldn't say more than I have already as far as the great things about the pedals. The one thing that's really going to be a matter of taste is, do you really like that really firm brake pedal feel, right? And I think once you get used to it, you will. However, that feel isn't for everybody. So it's going to depend on what taste you have, what games you're playing, things like that. But overall, love the pedals, and leave any comments or questions below. And until next time, have fun racing.